Girl, stop playing.
Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Coriel, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. Y'all already know that I truly believe you can make the money and you can get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. This week's episode is brought to you by the Pull Your Card Ultimate Party Game, y'all. Don't be laughing at me, Nas. The Pull Your Card Ultimate Party Game is a mashup of some of my favorite party games that's going to add a little spice to your next game night or girls' night. So definitely make sure you log on to pullyourcard.com to grab a deck. And we're going to have a little fun with tonight's guest. So you'll be able to see how the game works before you get your own. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming drops. Today we have a very special lady in the studio. Mia Jaye is a self-made business owner that's been making strides behind the scenes for years. She in front of the camera now, y'all. She is known by many as Young Dolph's longtime partner. Publicly, she shared her journey of fulfilling her purpose as a source of healing. And now it's time to get to know her personally. We're going to get in your business a little bit tonight. So I am excited. You are multi-passionate, multifaceted. You got multiple businesses going on. And so I'm just happy that you're here. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I really am.
So we did what was it called that we did on Instagram Live a couple weeks ago?
So it was a prayer live. We did a prayer challenge just because July was a tough month for me. And I was just led. It was like, I really wanted to kind of go inward. And I was just like praying about it, and God was just like, "Why don't you just do a prayer challenge? Like, don't go inward. Like, show people, kind of the things that you're going through, and pray over it, right?" And when I tell you, I mean, the way that I feel like I was just so lifted up the month of July, like our live that we did together. It poured into me so much. And so, I appreciated you coming on.
So it was funny because when you DM'd me, it's like a text thread. So when I scrolled up and I realized that we had been communicating like years and years ago, and you talked about how you've been connected to me since the Single Wives Club, that still like blows my mind when people say that, because you never know how you impact people or how people even know about the things that you have going on. And when we were on the live, I think it was the last week of July, and the people were like, "Oh my God, does this have to end?" Like, so you were having a tough month, but you being able to not just keep that to yourself and really pour into other people, it showed. And I think that is kind of the responsibility that we have for having these platforms and having the microphone and being able to use even our pain, to strengthen other people. She got me out of bed. It was like at 8 o'clock in the morning, y'all. It was like at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, okay, your girl was not cute at all.
You was cute though.
I'm glad the live is down. We were talking about, your single season. I was able to share some encouraging words for the single ladies. And she asked me, did I want to pray on live, y'all? That's where I had to draw the line. I had to draw the line somewhere, because your girl has been getting, thanks to Nas, your girl has been getting much better with my own personal prayer life, but I couldn't.
But it's okay though, and what you did do, you came in and you sowed some seeds, you gave some gems, and like I said, I was in college, like it was 2012 when you was doing.
Don't age me.
Okay, look,
she
my
was
bad.
in college.
look, it was my last year.
Okay, make me feel a little bit better.
But seriously, I remember it was like the growth, watching you from then to now, the growth is exponential. And I just remember like joining in and just kind of listening to like just being prepared for, like, like we're single right now, but like you want to be prepared for walking into marriage and things like that. And just seeing you today, it's like, girl, you sowed some seeds in your dang self.
Listen,
like,
because how you said like you were going through something and God just said like, use this. I feel like it was the same thing. I was my ideal client. I was my audience. I was the person. And that was always the thing, because, you know, the challenge that I would get from people is like, well, how are you doing this and you're not married yourself? And it was like, I'm doing this for me and I'm doing this for other people. And it was never me, you know, professing or proclaiming to know all of the things, but it's like, as I'm preparing, I want to bring other people on, you know, along the journey too. So
it's funny that you say that, just because it's interesting how God works for real. Like, you know, with Black Men Deserve to Grow Old, right? When I started that from a hurt place. I had lost my brother. But it was like, I saw like women who were losing their spouses, losing their children, and I wanted to help them. I was like, my heart goes out to these women, because I couldn't imagine it being me. So I started something to help others, but it was like God was preparing me to start something that would pour into me. You know, I didn't know what that journey was going to look like personally. I could only but imagine. And so when I stepped into that myself, and I'm probably jumping the gun.
Girl, it's okay. We skipping around. It's okay.
Okay, cool. But I'm just like, it's so funny how he works, because he prepares you for places that you haven't even, for doors that you haven't even walked into yet, right? And so he prepared me to walk into a door I didn't even want to walk into. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Right.
I'm like, wait, why me? But it's like one of them type of things, like, why not you? It's somebody else that had to go through that same door. And so maybe that you can be able to help somebody else who's going to come in after you, somebody who has come through that door before you. And that's how I see that same thing. It's the preparation that he gave me, you know?
So, okay, so let's go there, right? So Black Men Deserve to Grow Old. You lost your brother. And then what was the mission behind it? Obviously, that was your motivation, but what does the organization do? So
Black Men Deserve to Grow Old, I started it as a campaign, right? You know, after losing my brother, that was the first time I came in contact with loss so close, and I had to process it, and I needed to figure out, like, how do you show up for people who's gone, right? Because once somebody not here no more, it's so easy to forget about them, to do stuff that's not honoring who they are, who they were, whatever. So I had to really dig deep and to help myself to heal. Like, how can I still honor my brother? How can I show up for him? How can I show him, you know, in spirit, that, you know, even though you gone, like, I'm gonna be your mouthpiece, I'm gonna be your legs, I'm gonna be there for your family, whatever. And so I started Black Men Deserve to Grow Old as a campaign, because I wanted to be in support of his wife and his family. And I was like, you know what? I had kept coming into other people who had experienced loss, losing brothers. And I was like, I want to help y'all too, you know? So I came up with it as a campaign with a goal just to sell, like, I can't even remember, was it 1,000, 3,000 shirts or whatever? And I was like, you know, I want to be able to help them, connect them with therapists, connect them with financial advisors, and give them a financial, like, stipend to be able to just help to get them along, right? And I wanted something substantial. I didn't want $1,000, $500, or nothing like that. So that was where I started. And when I started that last August, I did it in honor of my brother's birthday. And I got started with it. And literally all summer, I was like preparing myself for this, because it was planted inside of me maybe like end of May. And I just kept on like, you know, I want to do this by Juneteenth. It didn't work. And I was like, by my brother's birthday, I'm showing up for him. And when I invited those other two families on, I was like, look, I don't really know how I'm going to get there with the goal, like selling these 3,000 shirts. But listen, I done prayed about it. And I even prayed on the phone with them. I was like, I don't know how. I really want to do this for y'all, to help y'all, but we're going to get there. And so I kept pushing it. It was like 30 days. Then it went to 45 to 60 days to 90 days. And then it was like, when I experienced the tragedy in my life, I would have never thought that me saying, like, I prayed about this. I asked God, how we going to get to this goal? I never would have thought it would have took for tragedy to happen in my own personal life for us to hit the goal. So we hit the goal. Literally at the same time that I lost my soulmate. And so from that, you know, I really got lost in terms of what to do with this. It started out as a campaign, but it not immediately, but by the end of that year, it was like, okay, my business team, they're like, this needs to become a business, right? And I'm like, I don't have the capacity. You know, I don't have the capacity like a business. I already got a business, right? And so I had a team that was working. And it was because of that team that God had me to put together, first of all. Before this, like, back up, like, it's like I was putting together a team, but, like, you know, Adolph didn't even want me. Like, he was like, listen, can you just focus on the kids? Can you focus on the household? Like, I think this is a great thing you're doing, but, like, we need you at home.
Some of that attention over here.
I'm busy enough for the both of us. I don't need no help. I can hold it down. And I felt him, and I like would be like, I appreciate you, because that's, you know, I just appreciate you for being able to put me in that position. But I was like, I feel like this is purposeful. Like, I gotta do this, you know. But I really didn't at that time understand how deep that purpose, how purpose driven my life was,
and how personal the purpose.
I just wouldn't have never ever imagined. And so since then, as I've seen that it's been something that's been building me up in the process. It was like this business, Mama Yo, like, both of them, they cushioned my fall because they gave me something. I always tell people it gave my mind an occupation. Like, the mind is the devil's workshop if it's idle, right? And it just gave me something to focus in on. It gave me something to just, like, with meaning and purpose and people that's attached to the why behind it. It just fueled me even more. But literally, like, I honestly tell people, like, my mind had an occupation at the time. Like, I couldn't just, you know, wither away. You know, I couldn't just, when you have a loss, if you experience loss so close and you grieving, you can go so deep in your mind to places that I don't think a lot of, like, you don't want to be at. I wouldn't even wish anybody to go to these places, you know, like on my worst enemy, because it can get so dark. It can get so lonely. It can get so painful. And I feel like every time I would even try to go down that pathway, it'd be something that veered me back over here. And it was something that had to do with one of them businesses or my children. And my children probably being number one, because they would come in to soften it. And then it's like right after that, it's like something with the business that's keeping me like, we ain't going down that pathway. We not about to even do that.
So I have to ask you, because, you know, we all subscribe to the whole, you know, everything happens for a reason. We don't question God type of thing. And I know that you are a woman of faith. I know that you clearly have a very strong prayer life. How did you not manage to wonder or question God in the midst of going through your own personal tragedy?
I mean, I definitely question him, and I still question him. I'm not a robot, and I have to tell people that, like, you know, despite the strength that I exude, it's like I still question him, and I just be like, you sure this was the right thing? Because, like, the biggest thing that I can tell, anybody can vouch for with me, it's like, listen, you better make that work with your husband, your baby daddy. Like, try to make it work with your partner. Like, life is hard, relationships are hard, but get through it, because if y'all made that decision to start a family together, like, y'all need that two-part. Like, you know, you need that yin to your yang. Like, make it work. Them kids need that. So I've always been an advocate for people to work together with their mate, right? They partner, parent together. So for me to, like, involuntarily just to become a single parent, that is tough for me, because I'd be like, I just be needing that male voice to be like, just say that word, just say the name, and they just get together. And now I just be like, so God, you just want me to be both or something? Like, me? Like, I'm the person that advocate for everybody to try to make it work. Like, why you do this to me, you know? And so I definitely question. You know, I question him, but it's like every time I question him, or whenever I feel like I want to even be upset with him, you know, like even when I feel like that, it's something that happens within my life that's like, I feel like it's a confirmation that it's like, I know you hurting right now, but I have not left you. I haven't forsaken you. You know, like, we all got to go through that transition. Like, nobody is promised here on this earth forever, right? And he gives me some type of peace and consolation. I can't explain. Like, you would have to ask me in that moment, like, well, what do you do? Well, I can't tell you right now. But it'll be so many things. It'll be the things like July, you know, like when I feel like I was getting to that broken place, and that place where I just wanted to shrivel up and just kind of disappear. It was like he just put me on a path to, like, no, I didn't forget you. I didn't give up on you. do this. And whatever I got to doing, it just picked my spirit up, and it just kept me going, and it kept me confident that he didn't give up on me, you know?
I feel like it, and again, unimaginable, but as a mother, how do you grieve yourself, you know, and go through the things, but still parent, still be a mother, still be able to allow your kids to grieve? Did you ever feel, or do you feel like you didn't have a chance to grieve because you had to be strong for your kids?
I think, you know, when you're on the outside and you've never experienced, I think people think grief is this thing where you stop and you just be still and you cry and you shut the curtains and it's blacked out and nobody comes in. You lock yourself away. I think that's a perception of grief, right? And not saying that that's yours, but I think a lot of people, they expected the world to stop. But I'm like, the thing is that you grieve every moment of the day. You get what I'm saying? Like every moment, like I can be, you know, in certain situations, I could be sitting outside, or in this, like if, say, for instance, we not starting to be talking right now, I can drift off into a place where I just long, or I think of a thought, and it just, I can be like, blink out. Like, you be like, Mia. And I'll be like, oh, dang. My mind just escaped to a place, but that's a part of my grief, because it's going to a place that I want to be in that I can't, right? And I think that experiencing a loss, like, and parenting, like, one thing that I kept telling myself is like right now, one thing I know about parenting is that your children, they don't do what you say, they do what you do. Your children watch it, they watch you intently, like they're looking for, you know, how you moving about. And I'm like, the fact that God didn't take both of us, and it's somebody here that's left that he's like, I prepared you in so many different types of ways with wisdom and discernment and different things that I just know about myself that I've always possessed, that he's like, I gifted you with that. I'm going to need you to share that gift with them, right? So they can be able to know what to do when tragedy strikes. So I feel like now, every time I look at my children, I want them to know, like, even if they have to, like, I'm not going to be here forever. I want them to know how to continue and journey on, you know, because Father already gone. Like, so God forbid, like, I be praying hard in the mug, like, look, keep me here for a very long time. Don't get it. Come on now. Don't let me down. But I just be like, I want them to know when you experience loss, that I still want you to journey on in life. And I needed to be a clear example of that. And so we grieve together. We talk about their father together. You know, I let them know it's okay to cry. Like my son, he's like, I'm the man of the house, you know, and he kept on telling me around the time that everything happened, like, Mom, don't cry. You don't have to cry. I'm here. And I was like, baby, like, I want you to cry. Don't think that you're too tough to, like, that's an expression of love. It's okay. You know, and when I told him that, my son, like, literally just broke down. And
like it was a release.
It was a relief for him, you know, and I feel like that I had a responsibility to show them how to deal and manage with loss. Like, life is going to be full of losses at some point, you know, and I needed to show them. And it was the hardest illustration that I've ever had to encounter, but it was something that I'm like, I just gotta do, because I don't, they're so young. I don't want them, like, they were 4 and 7. Like, I don't want them to, like, want to give up their life now. They ain't even lived. You get it? So I just had to push through. And a lot of times they would come up to me and say the most sweetest things. And even you talking about faith, like, one of the things that I think really elevated my faith. My children, I put them in Christian schools, right? Now, don't get it wrong. Like, don't get it twisted. I ain't really no holy roller like that. I grew up, like, I have a relationship with God, and we've prayed, we've done different things, but it has gotten a lot tighter because, you know, I have had to look to a source. I can't, like, it's not in people. It's not in things. It's like a source. Like, I needed to be, like, edify my spirit. And my children, you know, I put them in a Christian school that has really helped them to build their faith. And so my children would come up to me and see me sad, and they'd be like, Mommy, I want to pray for you. And I'm like, even before their dad passed, like, they inspired the both of us to pray as a family, because typically we would pray, either I pray with the kids over, like, it wasn't, or at the dinner table we'll do it together, but they were the ones that's like, hey, you know, like, just really big about that prayer life. And it encouraged us before he passed, and he even saw it. And it just got to a point to where it was like every night, no matter if he was gone or there, they let's call daddy. You know, we about to FaceTime daddy. It's time to pray. And the way that shaped our family dynamic, it was like I saw the power of prayer. And it was through my kids that really brought me closer. So a lot of times when I was like really sad, they would come up and they would say the sweetest things. I'm like, Mommy, I want to pray for you. Thank you, God, for my mommy. And I'd just be like, God, thank you for my kids. It's like, you know, so I think that's how that relationship got stronger, you know?
So Black Men Deserve to Grow Old.com or .org?
.com.
That's where we can go to support the movement.
Yes.
Okay, so we got to talk about Mommy Yo.
Okay.
What's the mission behind it?
The mission behind Mommy Yo is to advocate for moms to be fly.
You're out here advocating for the people, baby.
Advocating for the people. That's what they told you. I was doing it behind the scenes. I was like, look, I'm going to do this on the low because he don't want me to do nothing. But I want to advocate for you, sis. Like, be a mom. Be there for your babies. Be a boss as well. Like, you know, I know I had a lot of inner boss up in me that couldn't be unleashed because Adolph was suppressing it. He was like, look, be inside that house. But, and not in no forceful way, but you know, I really wanted to just advocate for women to like, look, you can do both. You can be the mom and you can be the CEO, right? You can be the CEO of your household, even if you're not ready, because that's what I started to do. I was like, look, okay, you're right. I'm a run my household like a tight ship. Like I'm a run it like I'm a CEO of my household, right? Yep. And that's really where the idea came from. And so I just wanted to advocate for women to like embrace family. You know, I know it's cool to be out here popping and be out here in the clubs, but like, not really. Like, be with your babies. Like, take them, do some things with them, show them the world, like involve them into that picture. You don't have to cut them out. Involve your family and do things for yourself too. It's not just all like give yourself away and don't replenish, but do things for yourself as well. So that was the whole idea behind it. Like, be the mom and be the boss.
Be the CEO of your home, because when you become a wife, when you have these kids, whether you are bossy, business minded, whatever, you have to become those things, and just embracing that. I think a lot of people, you know, we shy away from it because we feel like, you know, this is not going to be my end all be all, but you very much so become a totally different person once you have this responsibility. Speaking of, you were doing like a nanny thing in college, right? I did. Why? Please tell us why.
Girl.
What was the motivation?
Because I have such, like, kids gravitate to me. Kids literally gravitate to me. So it was one of those things that I wanted to start a business in college. And I was like, you know, I'm going to help women. Again, preparing me for something. I don't know. I'm like, women that were traveling. My first client, she used to have to travel for like a week at a time, right? And her son, man, he was kind of hard for like most people was like, I don't want to work with this client. But I connected with him. Like I really connected with him. And she would be gone for like a week at a time. And I would set it up like somebody go in the hours that I'm at work, and then I come and stay overnight. I would make out the like, here, this is what he gonna eat for dinner, or you tell me. Like it was this whole thing. Fast forward, like, I done had to tap back into that skill set that I had. I mean, you know, like, I'm like, you know what, I can do this for when I'm hiring people to help me. This what I want you to feed them. This what I like making out, like, plans for them. So, I don't know. Like, that was just, I don't know
just came naturally.
Yeah, just I wanted to start a business, but I don't know what made me think nanny. Like,
so that's what I was going to ask you is, you know, I feel like becoming a mother, I was taking all the classes, doing all the things, and some classes didn't do nothing. Like, it's something that I feel like you can think you know, and then that baby show up, and it's like, girl, you have no idea. But you kind of just answered it. I wanted to know, did you feel like that prepared you for becoming a mother?
Not now, yes. Then I wasn't even trying to be prepared. It was just I wanted to make some money. I felt like I was good at this, but once I got booed up, it was like, listen, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't have time.
I don't have
the
time
business
for this.
went away because it was like she like, can you no, I'm about to be with my boo. So that's when it kind of, as long as I was single and, you know, it was cool for me, but I wasn't trying to prepare at that particular time. I wasn't trying to prepare. But in hindsight, yes, it definitely prepared me for just knowing that you're going to have to delegate some help. Please know that, like, you don't have to do it on your own. You know, you don't have to feel ashamed to hire some helps, a nanny. And please believe, send me your resume because I probably might look at it.
Listen, the support and I
Yes.
feel that is very much so like a Black woman thing that and I think it's a cultural thing because other cultures of people, like when you have a kid, the moms come in, you know, the village literally surrounds you and lightens the load. But for us, we feel like we got to be strong, we got to be superhuman, we have to do all the things ourselves, and asking for help, even not even necessarily hiring help, just asking for help. Sometimes it makes us feel like we're less than, like we should be able to do it all, because most of the time we saw our moms doing it all.
Yeah, and sometimes I think I don't know if it's necessarily that we just think like, no, I don't need no help. I think it be who do you have to help you? Mm-hmm. I think that in our community it's so like every man for himself a lot of times, that maybe you just don't have help accessible, you know, or even if you, like when a person don't want to ask for help, it's typically because they feel like the person that they were going to ask is going to say no. That they don't
can't depend on somebody.
Yeah. So if you feel like you have somebody dependable, or if you have that extra money, I would like to think that, you know, you gonna be like, I don't care what nobody got to say, you hire, you know, you're gonna do it. So I think a lot of us just, you know, we're just not afforded the opportunity. That's the opportunity. That's a blessing to be able to, you know, either have people in your corner to have a village. Some people don't have a village, you know, and if they do feel like they have one, they probably got to rethink of who that village is, because when they need those people, they not there like that. And I think that, like, even like my mother, she didn't really have a village, and she was tired, and she was mean. Mama, I love you, but she was mean, and it was because she was tired. If she had a little ounce of help, she would have probably been a lot more pleasant.
A different experience.
Yeah.
We talked about that, I think last week. On last week's episode, we talked about realizing that our mothers are women, like our human beings. They're not just our mothers who we put up on these pedestals, because a lot of times our childhood experience, all of the time, our childhood experience is very much so a result of what they're going through. But we're just kids, so we don't know what they're going through. And then we grow up and we like, well, wait a minute. You know, when I realized, you know, the marriage that my mother was in, and that was adding to like her mental stress, which she was passing on to me because she was mad. You know, she was mad a lot of the time. She was, I don't know if she was really tired, but she was mad. And her madness turned into meanness, which you don't understand as a kid because you're just a kid.
Exactly. And I mean, mine was mad, mean.
All the things.
She was all the things. And when I say tired, I think it was just tired of probably my daddy. She was tired of her job. She was tired of having 3 kids, and she started having kids when she was 15. You get what I'm saying? So she was just with no support.
Right.
So I mean, I had my kids 10 years later, you know, than what she did, and I had support, and she was a support to me. My mother, when I had my son,
I was gonna say, she redeeming herself now as a
for
granny?
sure.
Okay.
No, and that's how I know. That's where you can see. That's the telltale sign, because it's like you were like this with us, but as a granny, my kids are like, she the best thing since sliced bread, you know. And I can see the difference, but she doesn't have as much pressure.
Right.
She doesn't have as much that she carrying on her back, you know. And on top of that, like she said it, like, you know, like what she grew up through, her past, then what she was going through when she was raising us, all of that was a lot. And I sat there and I was like, Mom, I really forgive you, because I used to like be like, I don't like her, like. I used to feel like
that sometimes. Me and my therapist, we still working through it.
Through that, girl. I mean, it's real though. It's real that you could feel like that, you know. But at the end of the day, I think that I had grew to see, like, when I dug into my mom, we had conversations about how she grew up, the generational curses, like how her mom was with her. How my grandmother, like, you know, she would still be saying, my grandma about was 80 years old maybe, and she be like, my mama, I'm the only one she gave up. Saying that, like, she had a great, like, her grandparents did great with her, but I think for her to be 80 years old and still saying she the only one, that was a dagger in her heart.
Yep.
You know, and that not having that relationship with her mother, and then my mother didn't have a real good relationship with her mother. When it came down to me, we was on that track, because I was like, look here, lady, I don't know who you think I am.
You know, but I feel like the great grandmas, they were just, I mean, thank God we didn't have like social media back then, and people didn't really know what was going on. You kept your business to yourself, because I think the traumas that were passed on, the things that were done that's just like ingrained in our grandmas and our mothers, and then it kind of trickled down to us. I think we are blessed for sure that we're able to recognize these things and have these revelations so that we don't involuntarily, do what was done to us to our children.
I ain't gonna even lie though.
You be doing it?
No, I ain't. No. I was about to say, probably if social media was around when great grandma, they would have had a little outlet, maybe. But they probably wouldn't have wanted to use. I don't know. Maybe
the secrecy is deep in the Black family.
I know, but that's why I'm thinking like maybe if social media was around, everybody would be transparent. But they probably wouldn't have took the opportunity. They was like, that's a setup. That's a setup. Because
Big Mama was a big mess. Okay, so we gotta play. Pull your card before we get up out of here. Do you want to do trivia or this or that?
I'ma just point. That.
This or that?
Girl, my eyes was closed.
You know what?
I'm just gonna grab this or that. Don't.
Okay.
I don't
this
look.
is the easy one. Okay, this or that. One of our games inside Pull Your Card. Would you choose or do you prefer Fresh Prince or Martin? Martin. Okay, really? I'd be mad. People don't ever say Fresh Prince.
I mean, I love it was really a hard one, but like Martin just funny than a mug. Like it really is.
Okay, Insecure or Power?
I never watched Insecure before. Y'all do not judge me.
I am judging you.
Do not judge.
First of all, Insecure is like the best thing since sliced bread for Black women.
Listen,
everywhere.
and that's why I'm going to binge it one day.
Please do. I still have not watched the last season because I'm so sad it's the last. I'm so sad the show is ending that I have not been able to bring myself to watch it. But you have to watch it.
I am. One of these
days. Shout out to Issa Rae. Can't wait to have you on the show.
Right. Shout out to you. I can't wait to watch you, girl.
You have to watch it. Tap back in with me when you watch it because you can be like, girl, I cannot believe I've been missing out on this.
Yeah.
You have to stop playing.
But I did watch Power. I was pregnant and stuff when Power came out.
So you was at the house.
I was at the house just watching it. Didn't have nothing.
Are you watching the spinoffs?
I don't watch TV like
You're
that.
You're not doing that no more. Okay.
No, I don't really watch TV that much no more. So that's probably why, and it's hard for me with these shows. Like, if I'm too far behind,
you don't even be wanting to catch up.
Yeah, I can't even catch up.
Well, when you do,
I'm going to let you know.
We'll talk about it. Yes, we'll talk about it. Okay, so we have to make sure we are supporting Black Men Deserve to Grow Old. We have to make sure we are tapping in with Mommy O. Please let the people know where they can find you online and how they can follow you on social media.
Yes, you can find me online at I Am Mia J. That's on Instagram. It's about where I'm alive and poking around. But also you can follow Black Men Deserve to Grow Old on Instagram. You can go to www.blackmendeservetogrowOld.com. And you can also find me at The Mom and CEO on Instagram and shopmamio.com.
Y'all, make sure you support my girl, Mia J. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed this conversation. Such a necessary conversation. And the work that you're doing is so important for our community. So y'all don't just talk about it, be about it. Make sure y'all log on. We'll make sure we put the link below. I got to remember to say that because I'm a YouTuber now. We're going to put the link below down here in the show notes. Another bomb episode of Girl Stop Playing. Thank y'all for tuning in. See you on the next episode.
Bye, y'all.
Girl, hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. This channel is all about encouraging you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. And comment below and let me know what you want to see on the next video. Peace out.